Mr Speaker.
The question is the motion be agreed to. The Honourable Hikera Parata.
Mr Speaker, tēnā koe, otira tēnā tātou katoa. The 50th Parliament wraps up this week. It's been a busy term with more than 330 pieces of legislation passed, 51 in the past year alone, and thousands of questions answered by our Prime Minister and ministers. Whatever's been in the headlines, unlike others, we truly have been focused on the issues that matter for New Zealanders. And I'd like to pay a tribute to New Zealanders for their resilience in going through the last very difficult period, perhaps the most difficult in a generation. Their preparedness to face those challenges, their attitude for hard work and continuing commitment to their families, the entrepreneurship that has been evident in the growing and continuing to grow economy that our government has overseen. Mr Speaker, we feel a mood of positivity and upbeatness, if that is a word, of New Zealanders, and that is most absolutely reflected by the strong and aspirational and constructive and positive leadership of our Prime Minister, the Right Honourable John Key. Before he even came into Parliament, he indicated that he wanted better for this country and for New Zealanders. And in the almost 6 years that he has led our nation, he's demonstrated that every day, in every way. All of the policies of this government have been about how do we support New Zealanders to do better? How do we back them to be the successful, aspirational Kiwis that we know them to be? Unlike the opposition that wants to focus on being pessimistic, on reporting failure, on personal attacks, this side of the House has focused under this leadership of our Prime Minister on what is the very best in all New Zealanders, and we have delivered a stable and aspirational government, and our track record reflects that. What have we done? In the economy, we've seen we've managed so soundly under our Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Bill English, whereby we're now in a situation where growth is forecast to reach 4% next year. The average wage has increased by $3,000, and by 2018 it is forecast to get to $62,300. An extra 84,000 jobs alone have been created in this past year, and that's forecast to grow to 172,000. And as we've House today, of course, one of the key indicators of that confidence in our economic management is that New Zealanders are staying here in New Zealand or coming home from other parts of the world, such as their confidence in our economic management. And there is more to be done, and we are focused on that. We also have a safer environment, law and order. Crime is down on on every indicator. Violent crime, youth crime, offending, and we are focusing more now and into the future on how we prevent young people getting into those situations where they default to criminal behaviour. And for that, can I acknowledge the Honourable Judith Collins and, of course, Anne Tolley. We have 40,000 fewer people on welfare over the past 4 years. That is due to the stellar work of our Minister of Social Development, who has focused her considerable energies on how we give people more chances to be successful, and we see that in those coming off benefit and going into work, because we understand that being on a benefit is no life for anyone. It is a lifeline, it is not a lifestyle. Work is good, and we are providing that work. We are giving people incentives to come off the benefit, and we're investing more and more in education. On every measure in education, we are seeing improvements. More kids are participating in early childhood education, more kids are doing better in national standards at primary school, more young people are leaving school with NCEA 2, and more are getting degrees. And this is absolutely due to the hard work of teachers and principals and their board chairs and trustees across the country. They are the ones who deserve the credit, and we are backing them to be successful, and that's why, going forward, we are putting $359 million into recognising, supporting and growing the skills of teachers and of principals. In health, Mr Speaker, we've seen significant success, and this is because we want to ensure that we have well New Zealanders and well families. For cancer, it's 4 weeks now from decision to treat to actual treatment. Immunisation in our youngest New Zealanders are doing better. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Mr Speaker.
Gareth Hughes.
Kia ora, Mr Speaker.